Shalom Aleichem, everybody. Hope all is well. I want to speak about a very interesting idea that the Rebbe Rashab speaks about in his Maimarim, and also the Friedrich Rebbe speaks about it as well. It's an idea. It's a practical reality that we can all apply to our daily lives to help us tap into this intellect that we have within us. And so basically, it speaks about how the Rebbe Shab gives an idea about how there's many different levels of intellect, but there's revealed intellect and there's the potential, the intellectual potential, koach hamaskil. So there's the sechel, the intellect as it's revealed within our minds, as we tap into it, as we feel it, like as we're aware of it. And then there's an intellect, the potential of intellect, which is much higher than just the intellect that we tap into. Each person they have intellect that they're able to tap into, but there's the potential they have that if they learn certain things, they'll be able to reach so-and-so level. And there's an infinite aspect to it. But then even higher than just the potential for the intellect, there's a source of where the intellect's coming from, and it's coming from Hashem himself. And the intellect, even the infinite intellectual potential, is still just a lower reality than the source of it, which is a part of Hashem above. Because as you know, Hashem is beyond any intellect. Hashem is beyond any thought, beyond any comprehension. So as great as this infinite intellectual potential that we all have, it's nothing compared to Hashem himself. So the Rebbe Rashab gives us simple techniques to tap into even higher than just the intellectual potential, but rather the source of the intellect itself, which is actually called the level of Eden, which, if you're familiar, the Garden of Eden, Gan Eden. There's the Gan and Eden. The Gan is the Bina, the understanding, and the Eden is the level of Chokhmah that comes into the garden. It's the inner part of the Chokhmah. This level that not even Moshe Rabbeinu had access to yet, but in the days of Mashiach we'll have access to it. The Rebbe Shab gives a simple technique to begin to tap into that level, and that is through Yagiyah, through working, through laboring your mind, through exercising your mind strenuously, meaning forcing yourself, working very hard, pushing yourself intellectually to understand a concept. And through the force, through trying to really yagiyah, through laboring yourself, through toiling your mind to understand a concept, you don't just understand the concept itself, but you tap into the source of the concept. And through that very effort that you put to understand something, when you're trying to understand a concept and it seems hard and there's that confusion, but that activates within you that grind, that force, that toil, that effort to understand the concept, you end up reaching a much higher level of tapping into it, of awareness of this reality, much higher than had you have understood it simply in the first place. Because when you lack the understanding in the beginning, it forces you to activate an inner potential within yourself to tap into the source. And he gives a beautiful analogy to understand this idea better, that it could settle within us in a more real way, is that it's like the example of a flint stone, like a stone, and when you're lighting a candle to a candle, there's no force involved. You just touch the candle to a candle. But when you want to extract a spark from a rock, it's only with force, with a powerful force, that you're able to draw out that spark. And that's like the idea of to really reach this level of this deeper level of this really high godly reality to tap into it with our intellect. It's through force. Just like the rock, the only way you could extract that you could activate the spark from the rock is with hitting it with force. So too, you have to study something with force. You have to activate your mind, your brain, to work. The kli hamoach, the tool of the brain, is a powerful tool. The brain has a lot of power, a lot of potential. If we use it properly, it actually is such a tremendous tool to reveal Hashem. If we don't use it properly, so seemingly it could hide Hashem. But when we tap into the brain, we use it. We use it with force. We're able to tap into this godly reality. And that's like the idea of the stone, that when you hit it with force, you're able to bring something out of the potential into the reality. Because when the chokhmah, in wisdom, is coming, it says me'ein timtza, it's becoming revealed from the hidden. It's a revelation of the hidden. When you get a new idea, a flash in your mind, when you're studying a new concept, you're trying to understand something very well, you're grinding, and then this flash comes in. It's seemingly coming into existence from nothingness, from hiddenness. So too, just like the flame, when you hit the rock hard enough, you get a spark out of it. But it's not that it's coming It's not that it was never there. It was in a potential state. It was in the potential state, and you're bringing it from the potential state into the revealed state. All right? And now this can also be understood when the Rebbe Rashab explains that this level that we're tapping into, we're not even just tapping into the potential, but we're connecting to Hashem himself. We're connecting to the inner soul of the intellect. Because as great as this wisdom, this supreme wisdom is, this sublime wisdom, as great as it is, it's only an outer revelation of really what's within it. And that's the pleasure, that's the ratzon, the oneg, the will that Hashem has, that's higher than just the wisdom, and the pleasure that Hashem has in the Torah and like in us connecting with him through the Torah. That it says that this level that not even Adam was able to see, not even Moses was able to see, was the level of Eden itself, not the Gan Eden, the Eden itself that was shining into the Gan. They were able, that when Mashiach comes, we'll be able to tap into the level of Eden, of Eden itself. And what is that? That's the pleasure that Hashem experiences connecting to us and us serving him. Because normally a person could tap into the pleasure that we have to serve Hashem, which is a very high level. But the pleasure that Hashem experiences, that's a level that seemingly is separate. We don't have access to just yet. Maybe we have it today. But when we grind, when we tap into our mind, and the tool, we use our tool of the mind, we're able to draw down that level, and we're bringing upon the days of Mashiach. Because it takes work. When you toil, the best pleasure in life is the pleasure that a person works for. It says a person would prefer 1/5 of the amount of, if I'm not mistaken, 1/5 of the amount of value of something if he worked for it rather than given 5 times the amount for free. Because when you work for something, when you plant something, you enjoy seeing it grow so much more. So too, that's why Hashem says this is the way we get to reach this level of Eden, the level of Eden. Why? When we work for something. So when we use our mind, our brain, it's such a powerful tool. There's really there's no limit to the potential of intellect we can draw down. And so when we work ourselves, when we don't understand a concept, we should read it over again and over again. And then we're able to not just understand it, but tap into the essence of the idea. And we have to remember through humility, we have to be humble and remember that this isn't because of our greatness, but rather it's because of Hashem's greatness that he shares with us. When we're humble before Hashem, we realize that any concept that we understand, that we're able to tap into, that anything we're able to accomplish is because Hashem has mercy on us and he's kind and he gives us the ability to accomplish it. So when we humble ourselves before Hashem and we work for it, we'll be able to tap into this level and it will be fully and openly revealed in its completeness in the days of Mashiach. May it be today. May Hashem bless you all.